Hello and welcome back to Bizarre Sunday. If you tuned in last time and are now tuning back in, you are in for something wildly different.
Way different.
So sorry about that. This is pretty much our typical speed. If you're a hardcore fan of the show, this is what you're used to. But this week we are back just talking about a variety of stuff. For one thing, we're catching up because Matt kind of fell off the face of the earth the last couple of weeks.
What?
And so did I in various ways. Matt fell deathly ill, and I just got really busy with school, which is, I want to talk about why there is a gap between like the last episode and this episode, but we'll do that later in the show. So if you're interested in that, you're a fan, we're going to talk about that. There's no bombshell, but kind of our thought process of what's going on moving forward with the show. But if you're just returning back, welcome, and I hope you enjoy your time here. That's Matt Buchanan.
Yo.
I'm Andy Matsky, and we are Bizarre Sunday. We were supposed to say it in sync. We'll do that next time.
Bizarre Sunday.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So, what do you want to talk about this week?
So, I'm kind of reeling off of last night's football game.
I didn't watch it.
Thursday night football of this past week was the Steelers and the Bengals at the Bengals in Cincinnati. And we lost. I'm a Steelers fan, for those of you who don't know.
The we is the royal.
Yes.
By 2 points?
By 2 points. It was a legacy drive by Joe Flacco, the 48-year-old man who got off his couch to play this football season. They went down the field, wasted all the time on the clock, basically scored a field goal to take the lead by 2 points. We had a Hail Mary opportunity by the Aaron Rodgers, the Hail Mary man. And for some reason, DK, the most freakishly athletic, DK Metcalf, the most freakishly athletic man that's ever played football in the entirety of the time that I've watched, just didn't get there. There were like 3 guys that were above him that were all defensive players. So sad.
Very, very sad.
And I was very upset because it was my dad's birthday yesterday. It would have been great to cap it off with a Steelers victory. And except we were left in sadness. And I'm going to cry about that for the next probably week until I watch the Steelers play again.
Yeah. It's not been a great season for either of those teams.
For anybody. The whole season's been terrible.
Everybody's been getting injured when it comes to football. Jameis Winston is on the Giants now.
Which is just so sad.
It is very sad. I would have done anything to keep him in Cleveland. I love that man. He's not very good at football, but I love him.
He's a funny guy.
He's I watched a video of him walking down the street in New York, bringing Southern hospitality to the big city and just like complimenting people. And half the people are like, more than half the people are like, who is this guy? Like, what's going on? And then a quarter of the people are like, oh my goodness, it's Jameis. And then they're like, what's up? And he's just so nice. He's like, I love your dress. And people are like,
yeah.
What?
It's because he's such a sweet guy. I would have loved to see him starting on a team this year. Because I feel like there's enough teams that he could have started on this year.
Yeah.
Like the Bengals before Flacco, he could probably be starting at the Browns now.
I don't get the Browns. As a Clevelander, I am obligated to like the Cleveland Browns. And I just don't get it.
Yeah.
It's been, look, I've been alive long enough that I know what it's like to be a Cleveland sports fan, but this is just different. All our other franchises are kind of turning it around, figuring it out, still breaking hearts, still getting out of the playoffs in like the first round they really play. But sometimes we're good, sometimes we're really good. I didn't know, and maybe, not to change sports completely, did you know that the Cleveland Cavaliers have the highest payroll in the NBA?
Yeah.
Bonkers.
Yeah.
Bonkers.
They also have Lonzo Ball now, which means you guys are going to be terrible.
Which means he's going to get hurt.
Yeah, he's going to be out for the whole season.
But I'm excited. I'm excited for the Cavs this year. They have those awesome retro-looking jerseys that are kind of awful to say retro because they're from like when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But that's really cool. Basketball, we've talked about before on the show, just loses me in the reffing.
Yeah.
And how that's so inconsistent. Kind of on a whole, like I love basketball, but in college and in the pros, it just loses me because it's like whatever they feel like.
Yeah.
And that's what's very difficult for me. Playoff baseball is in full swing, and it's the highest viewership in like a decade.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
I have not watched any of it.
It's been pretty crazy. The ALCS, the American League, has been all blowout games, but both ways, which is just confusing. And then, believe it or not, the Dodgers are ruining the Brewers.
Shocker.
Which, the Brewers were the hottest team in baseball this year, believe it or not.
Well, yeah. But you just... The Dodgers are just inevitable. They're Thanos.
Well, what's interesting about them is, and I know enough about baseball, is that their relief pitching this year has been really bad, mostly due to injuries in their good relief pitchers. But so far in that series, they've barely had to use their relief pitching. Their starter in game 1 went 8 innings. Blake Snell went 8 innings. And then Yamamoto pitched a complete game in the second game. So you didn't need to go to your bullpen, which has been abysmal, which is so interesting. And even in the game when Snell went 8 innings, their relief, their like closer guy, gave up a run, and like it was real shaky for an inning. So I don't know. It's real interesting. We'll see how it goes. Will the Dodgers just be the Dodgers? I don't know. Like, they're barely getting away with what they're doing.
But like, it's like how, I mean, I don't know what it's like Tom Brady and the Patriots.
Kind of, but if like, and because it's a different analogy, but like, but Shohei's been doing bad.
Yeah.
Mookie's not been great. Like, Shohei's in a slump.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
I feel like he'll turn it on when it's necessary, though. Like, I feel like he's the type of player to need the kick in the butt to keep going.
Probably.
And like push forward.
We'll see what he's like in the World Series, because they're
gonna
make it.
They're gonna get there.
We'll see. It's really Seattle or the Blue Jays. I don't really know who has a leg up there. Both teams have won in the away games, and what's weird at that
Which is weird.
It's
yeah.
it's like that's a upside down series, but it's been a lot of fun to watch. I went to see Lawrence.
I'm so jealous. I meant to ask you, do you know if they did the song Something in the Water?
Yeah, they did.
No.
And that was, I feel like we should just let that moment be for a second. But for those just listening, Matt is visibly upset. They did that song. I knew that song. That was one of the songs I knew that they did because Gracie introduced it, and I was like, oh, I know this song. And then I was standing there like, man. It was a very similar experience to when I saw Judah and the Lion a couple years ago, last year, and they did Suit and Jacket.
Yeah.
And I was standing there like, man, this song used to just be like funny and like fun, and now I'm like, man, I was there with my friends, and I was like, this is hitting way too hard right now.
Yeah.
But they did Something in the Water. They did a lot of stuff off their new album. I know that much.
They do like Casualties, one of their big ones.
I don't know. They did The Weather, and
That's
they
a
did
good
it
one.
acoustic. They did it really acoustic. And
did they do Something in the Water acoustic too?
Yeah.
Dude, their acoustic sets are so good.
Yeah, they did that acoustic. I forget what else they did acoustic, but it was really good. If you have a chance to see Lawrence, even if you're not a fan of them, they're really
it's
good.
It's just good music.
Yeah.
They're just really good musicians. Like, you could not like the content of their songs and just listen to the music, and it's just an incredible thing.
How would you describe Lawrence? What type of genre?
I mean, they're like a jazz pop fusion, probably.
That's fun.
They've leaned heavily into the pop before, and I think they brought the jazziness to it. I think they're kind of finding that like they're adding that like acoustic feeling to the jazz, which is a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're very funky as well.
Yeah, big funk.
Yeah, they're like a funk fusion.
And
band.
Clyde's vocal is so like it's soulful, and like you wouldn't like look at him and go, that's the guy who's singing right now.
Both of them, I mean, that's what's interesting about the band Lawrence for me, is Clyde is incredible.
He's so
good.
So
there's two main vocalists in this band. It's a brother and sister, Clyde and Gracie Lawrence. And Clyde is fantastic.
So good.
Very soulful, has like a raspy, soulful voice. And Gracie also has this weird like soulful thing she does with her voice, but I like it way less. But
Yeah.
she has an incredible voice. That's what's weird is
Incredible.
like for 80% of what Gracie does, I'm all in. And then like there's 20% and I'm like you could hear the record scratch and I'm just always like I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
Most
I
of
agree.
the time. And yeah, but they're both incredible singers.
Of course.
Like that's not it's not taking anything away from Gracie's talent because it's there.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
incredible.
she's probably one of the best in the genre that they're in, like female vocalists. Because I mean, she got pulled to do Broadway stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and you don't get pulled to do Broadway stuff unless you're a fantastic vocalist who can like just do it night after night. Um, but my favorite part about them is like John Bellion, who's like probably my favorite artist ever in the whole wide world. He like helped kind of bring them to fame, which I think is really cool. I mean, fame being like they've got like 2-3 million monthly
I think they have
listeners on
one
Spotify.
on Spotify,
Yeah.
which is criminal.
It
Like,
is criminal. They got clowned on though because they had that one song come out and everybody was like the meme was like KSI put out this like really trashy rap song, and then they're like, why are we hating on this song when this Lawrence song exists?
yeah.
But you know, I
Most of I don't know cuz I don't know, they do a lot of what they do really well and then some of it's like they're like Gracie going to Broadway is her coming to her fullness for all I can tell. They're very much like theater kid vibe.
yeah.
In,
I mean, yeah.
in some ways, like like no hate, just observations.
Yeah.
They're very much so that, and like the cool side of that, they're like the cool kids in that crowd. But it was interesting. There was a Tuesday night show, the House of Blues in Cleveland. First time I've been there. Great venue.
It's a fantastic venue.
Yeah.
How full was it?
Not very.
See, that's so upsetting.
There were, I mean, we were up top and there weren't a ton of people up there, period. Like we were up in the standing room. We didn't pay to sit. So we were up in this like top level. For those who haven't been there, there's like a kind of your typical venue, like just flat seats and standing room. And then there's a like an amphitheater round up above on like a second level, kind of like a traditional theater. And then there's standing room up above that. And that's where I was with my friend Santino Vitali. And he lives at blah, blah, blah. And that's where we were. And those were like pretty decent seats, but it wasn't packed. It wasn't like we had to fight to get there. We kind of were just like, this is where we're going to be.
Yeah,
So
that's crazy. I forgot that they were going to be here. Out of all the concerts that like I've been wanting to go see, I forgot that I was going to be in town for them.
well, if it makes you feel any better, I forgot Colony House and Happy Landing were in town. And like I missed them.
Yeah.
And I would have wanted to see Happy Landing because I think they're a fun band. They do this song called Arkansas. It's great.
Yeah.
Another song that's like real fun now, but might be like, whoa, later. But it's just an upbeat song, so maybe not. Not as much of a suit and jacket, something in the water, acoustic-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was out of town for the Colony House concert, which is a bummer because I would have loved to go. There's so many concerts I've been out of town for that I would have loved
That's
to go
tough,
to that were like $30 to get into.
Aaron Cole is playing like a club show. Who's a rapper?
Didn't he cheat on his wife?
Aaron Cole? No, it's Gavi.
Okay. I just wanted
think.
I couldn't remember which one
I mean,
it was.
Gavi did. Aaron
Yeah.
Cole, pretty sure he didn't.
Yeah. Well, because is that like Gavi, like the Gavi Get 'em
Yeah.
beat guy? Okay.
Yeah, and he
He definitely did. Okay.
Yeah. He's making music again.
Why are we letting him do that?
I don't.
Did he repent?
Shrug.
Okay.
Anyways, but Aaron Cole's playing a club show when we have reverb. Like a club show. Like
The band
my
Camino's
gosh.
playing in Pittsburgh that day.
That's so sad. I love club shows. I think those are my favorite. And I've realized that after going, I went to a concert when King's Kaleidoscope was in town with my parents because I forgot my parents bought tickets to this other concert. We went and saw, why am I forgetting their name? They're a sea shanty group, the Longest Johns. Saw We saw The Longest Johns and a group called Home Free, which is like an a cappella group. We went and saw them because my mom's favorite band right now is The Longest Johns. My mom loves sea shanties.
Your mom's a legend.
My mom's a legend, and I said this to her face when we were there. And so this isn't mean. And you have such great context with this podcast. People think my dad and I are the weird ones of the family. Meaning, I don't know, we go on podcasts and talk about cryptids and our Christianity, and that's like level 1 of knowing me and my dad, right? And there's so much more layers, and we both love hip hop and Godzilla movies, and we could go on. But people think like my dad's like that, and then my mom is like, for lack of a better word, normal. But what they don't know is my mom loves sea shanties and collects Raggedy Ann and Andy's, and she is like quite involved and like knows some people personally in like literary scholarship, like a particular branch of that, like a particular author. So my mom's also like, we're all equally eccentric. That's the right word for it. Like I think I was called eccentric by a lady who worked at my school when I was in high school. When I was a senior in high school. And it kind of was like, well, that's a word for like crazy old guys. But if the shoe fits. So as I was saying, let's bring it back. We went to see The Longest Johns. My mom loves The Longest Johns. I'll have to show you videos I took of my mom at the concert. I can't put those on the internet in good conscience, but I could show you because she's just having an absolute blast. And it's hilarious. Because my mom's music taste also includes like new wave, like British new wave. So like Depeche Mode and all that. She was a big fan of Sting. Is a big fan of Sting.
Really?
Yeah. The list can kind of go on. So my mom's got a equally eclectic taste in music, which I think explains why my taste in music is a little bit of everything, is because both my mom and dad were all over the place when it comes to that. But this was all to say, I went and saw The Longest Johns at like a theater in Akron. It was a pretty cool venue, but it was like an old theater. And the couple levels and all sitting and that. And I've been to shows at churches, a good Christian rap show is at a church. And I've been to Blossom and larger venues. But what I love is those smaller club shows. Like the Grog Shop here in Cleveland. There's a place called Ace of Cups in Columbus that are just such intimate, small venues that are so fun. Like, it kind of doesn't matter who you're seeing there, but if you like who you're seeing there, it makes it so much better. Like, that's why I think I saw the People We Became tour, which was No Big Deal, John Keith, and Ecleso in a club. It was a club show. They went and did clubs, and it was incredible because you're so like the worst seat there is still so close.
Yeah,
and that was so fun. I think we've talked about it before, one of my favorite bands, Doc Robinson, at the Grog Shop. I mean, the camera is farther away from me than their lead singer was.
That's so sick.
That's so fun. And I mean, that's kind of, I think, affecting my concert choice. I liked House of Blues because you can get close too. But like, if it's a big place, I'm not crazy about it.
Yeah, I don't like the big stadiums.
Like, even like Blossom, it's not huge. And if you get there early, you can sometimes get closer than the seats you bought. Fun fact. But it's like they're still so big. It's kind of just like, okay, we're here. Like, I saw Charlie Crockett that way, and that was fun. But
yeah, I still think we should try and go see Band Camino down in Columbus in November.
It'd be fun. If the weather, we'll have to see. We'll have to see how the winter comes in. If the winter comes in hard, I sound like a settler. On the prairie. The winter comes in hard.
I also have like a great snow car.
That's fair. I don't.
I have like a fantastic snow car. So it's like we could go down there because the venue's so. I looked at the venue after you said that you thought the venue was awesome. The venue's sick. Yeah, it's like really cool. We should go see them.
Yeah, I haven't been there, but I have friends who've been there, and it's really cool.
We need to. We had the Cooperstown Fund. Now we're gonna have the Band Camino Fund.
My Venmo will be in the description if you want to support our Columbus day trip. They're brutal though. Especially when it's late at night, it gets brutal.
I don't care.
Do it. We'll do it.
I drive 7 hours monthly.
That's fair.
Each way.
That's fair, and I get that. But I'm just saying, there's something different about it. Like, I've done all sorts of absurd travel things.
Yeah.
And up there for the worst one was going to see No Big Deal, because we left at like, I don't even know. We left at like 3 and came back at like 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
And it was like,
well, Jared and I went to go see Chris Renzema and Josiah Queen down at Ohio State.
Yeah.
And so like we went down, we left at like, I think we left at like 1 and got back at like 2.
Yeah, it's brutal. It is brutal. That's for sure. I'm trying to think of other shows I've been to recently. That's kind of been it. I saw the Charlie Crockett and Leon Bridges one. I forget who opened, but it was easily the worst opening act I've ever seen.
Oh.
And like almost, which honestly, I kind of said that, and now I'm thinking back on it, and I think it's true. Like, that's not hyperbolic. And I've been to shows at like the Grog Shop, which are just local bands.
Yeah. Which is really brutal.
And this was worse. You can you can just look up who it was when I saw him at Blossom and Cuyahoga Falls. It was this like Southern Texas lady who, it wasn't country. It was just this weird, parts of it were really good. And she brands herself as, I'm pretty sure, brace yourself, a Mexican lesbian. And she kept saying that. And it was one of those things where it's like, hey, we can have this conversation. You shouldn't need to say that. There's a really good quote I heard by the artist. Pause for like 2 seconds. Oh, I don't know how to say this. Labi Sifri, L-I-A, I spelled it wrong already, Labissiffre, who's this British artist. Do you aware of his? This might be a future
perfect.
Andy's and Matt share music with each other. But he was an openly gay, I think he's passed away. He's an openly gay artist who, there's a quote of his that's essentially, and I'm paraphrasing, you shouldn't need to know anything about me to hear my music.
Yeah.
The music should speak for itself.
I think I've heard that quote before.
Like, it should just connect with you, or it doesn't. You should either focus on it being good or not. And that's kind of how this music was. Like, the opposite of that was like, she kept bringing up this gender, her politics, her hegemony, where she fits in and all this, how many boxes she checks, and her music's not good.
Yeah.
Her music doesn't speak much for anything.
That's unfortunate.
And it was just weird, and it was awkward, and I was sitting there with Mark and my dad, and we were just all kind of like, yikes, this is weird. And like, parts of the music were really good. She had like really interesting percussion elements, and like the rhythm of her songs are interesting. I'm a sucker for that. So like, that was there, but it was just rough. And then Charlie Crockett came out, and it was like, oh my goodness, this is incredible.
Yeah.
Because he's incredible live. If you listen to any of his music, he is just as good, if not better, live.
Yeah. I often find that like musicians, I like it better live than I do the recordings. Yeah. And then I go back and listen to the recordings and go, oh man, I wish I had this live.
Yeah. I mean, that happens a lot, and I get that. I think the right live music is just so good. There's something about it that, I mean, it's worth it. I mean, we're in Cleveland, which is like a surprisingly musical town.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame's here, so I guess it's not surprising. But
yeah.
We're a musical town. It's kind of very, very common to be someone who's into music and goes to shows regularly.
Yeah.
I mean, my whole department at my old job pretty much was that. It was, all of us would talk about shows we were going to and when and where. It was like all 5 or 6 of us.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool.
Well, and on top of that too, it's not just like shows and venues. Like, you go to a bar and there's a live musician in there. Like, in my experience, like 70% of the time.
Yeah.
like there's always some like it could be just a guy with his acoustic guitar and like a monitor who's playing, and that's just like the reality of most of the places. Like if you go there 6 to 9 o'clock, that's normally what you'll see.
Oh yeah.
Which I think is like just super cool that like I didn't think I'd find that here.
Yeah.
But like it's like we're not even in Cleveland,
Mm-mm.
and we have that around here.
We are out in the suburbs for sure. And that is definitely like always present. And I think everybody knows a couple people who are in bands and things like that. That's just the way it is out here. And I mean, that's not totally unique to out here, but
It's just a shock that that's like something that's in Cleveland because Cleveland's not really known for that.
yeah. But we're a music city, and I think that's even shown at a show like the Lawrence Show, where it's like there's connections to Cleveland here too, like with the people who are singing with them and stuff like that. Like, no, there's a Cleveland imprint on this somewhere, which is super fun and super cool.
Yeah. So I'm so upset I didn't go to that show.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Next time.
we've been gone.
Yes.
We missed a week. Somebody texted me and told me, like, I can't believe you guys missed a week.
Yeah. So for immediate release, this is kind of my press release for it. First of all, I am shocked we made it this far without missing an episode. When Matt and I started the show, it was we'll get it done whenever we can, and it happened to be weekly for like 3 months, 3.5 months. And then to be fair, like I've been doing school. I got school started back up in September, and so I've been really pressed for time, and there's been a lot of life stuff going on. So I am shocked that it took this long too, right? Because school started in September and it took till October to actually miss an episode.
Yeah.
But I think, and I was just busy. Like I just couldn't find time. And, I mean, to be fair, like I still was doing some like fun things, but this has always been this is a fun thing that we do. So it's like, this is what has to go. You were dead.
I died. Yeah.
And I just was like, I'm already planning on hanging out with a buddy of mine, like on Friday, and then recording on Saturday, like doesn't work. We're recording on a Friday right now, but production timeline, like Saturdays would darn near be impossible to get everything done in time. And so that's kind of just to say, I think moving forward with this show to set healthy expectations, it's probably going to be an every other week ordeal for the foreseeable future, because, and this has been a big part of it, and it's been a thought in my mind for a while, I want to prioritize quality over quantity with this show. I think at times, and like, hey, if you're new around here or if you've been around here for a while, I think that's been lacking. I mean, to be fair, we're having fun, and this is a fun thing, so it's not like something I'm pulling my hair out over, but there's a lot of times where we do whatever, but I want to make sure the show is worth your time and not just adding to the noise that is the digital landscape these days.
Yeah.
Because even more so than ever, online is just noise. And I think I'm in the process, very beginning process of taking, and this was off the script of what we talked about before. I'm taking major steps back with my relationship with technology. I think that makes it sound like I'm going to become Amish, but I just think the attention economy is what people call it. I'm kind of burned out from it.
Yeah.
Which is really funny because we're, whether we like it or not, content creators when we do stuff like this. And that's especially why like there's little to no social media presence with this, because to be frank, my opinion's either like you care enough to find the show and listen, and because you know about it through us, or the algorithm does its job or works for us, or you just don't know about the show. I'm not really interested in like promoting what we're doing. Just cause I think there's no reason to just be producing more noise. It's not a noise, good noise versus bad noise discussion. It's like I want good substance in our show.
Yeah.
That's what I want to prioritize. using that word substance over the word content, right? I want the substance of our show to be meaningful. And to be fair, like the reason we're doing a kind of silly episode this week is because one, we want to make sure we got an episode out, and two, because Matt's working harder to make the next episode better. We're not just rushing to get it out.
Yeah.
Like we're in the process of doing this. And it just frees us up because doing a video podcast takes a lot of work and a lot of effort, and I need as much time as I can these days. So that's my side of it. My angle of it is like, I'm sorry we missed. I had somebody text me as well, and it was like, yeah, no episode this week. But also it's like, this isn't a job.
Yeah.
There is no network. There is no, oversight on this besides us. And I really want to make sure that when we're releasing stuff, it's quality. And I think the quality speaks for itself most of the time. Sometimes it doesn't go recognized, but I'd even say in the last episode with my dad, we got a good amount of recognition for that because people stayed around and wanted to know what was all there.
Yeah.
And that's not because you weren't here, but it was like, and even the episodes where we have put in that work and it's been the fruit of other study, like the Christian productivity episode did really well. What is Christianity is one of our episodes that's done really well because I think we spent the most time talking about it or like thinking about it before we talked about it.
Yeah.
Again, that's not always true. And if you're making content, that's not always a rule and it's certainly not a rule where, if you work really hard to make it really good, it will do well. That's not always true.
Yeah.
There's episodes I'm extremely proud of that are in our like probably top lower 5. Like,
yeah.
The episode with me and Mark did not do great, but I think it's one of our best just because you kind of see a testimony in action between Mark and I. Like it's not just a story. It's kind of, you can see part of it on that episode. So it's weird. And I just want to prioritize that. And I want to prioritize the substance by bringing more cool people on.
Yeah.
That's equally shocking to me that we made it 15 episodes before we missed a week, and that we made it 15 episodes with only 2 guests, and that those 2 guests were Mark and my dad, which is no shade to Mark or my dad, but it's my dad. I probably would have expected, but like that it kind of was like these thrown together things. Like I texted my dad to be on the show the morning we recorded.
That's awesome.
So like that really was a Hail Mary, like, hey dad, I need something. And he was there. So, whatever else you want to say. And that's the thing is like, I want to make sure we're doing that and we're promoting and encouraging other people we know who are making stuff. Part of why I say that is I was listening to The Theological Lens with Linnell Buchanan this week. Matt's mom does a podcast that's fantastic that doesn't quite get and like the traction we get. So if we can point people in other places, I'm all there for that. And that's do the best to point away from us and have people who know what they're talking about on. So that's like we have that at our disposal, and I want to, take advantage of that.
Yeah. I think for me, like I already am like traveling a bunch and like not always around. So like to make time for this is something like I would like to do, but it's not always a reality.
Yeah.
But like with working at the church, like we've got 3 other pastors here who like are just so smart in their respective areas, and like I want to pull them in and do stuff. And like this next episode that I'm kind of like trying to push out kind of what I want to talk about is really, really important to me, and I did not want to do it poorly. And so I texted Andy, what was it, yesterday?
I think so.
And was like, I think that I just need a little more time to like work on this and get all of it together, because it wasn't like I could just throw it. Like scripture kept leading me down more roads with the topic. And so I think that as we kind of take that time, I think too, like if we do get out in like 2 weeks in a row, don't expect that to just instantly go back to that consistency. Like it's just going to be whenever we can get that together, because we both work real jobs. Yeah. And you've got school.
Yeah.
Which
I've
is lame.
barely been working my real job, and I have school. And I think, we have like, it's not to be like, well, we have lives, but we have lives, real lives, and we want to make sure what this is quality.
Yeah.
It's something of substance. I think because I think to be this frank, that's the only way I see continuing with the show, with kind of my gut reaction to what's going on in the universe of tech. And what I mean by that, just so that if anyone's like unaware, we live in a time when like AI has gone crazy and is kind of taking over in certain areas. Things like Sora, OpenAI's Sora is kind of just creating a ton of noise, and we live in time of a lot of noise in other ways. And maybe this can be a future episode, is kind of me explaining this more. But the only reason I see a point in actually recording something and putting it out, besides that it's just fun for you and I, because it does get us in the same room talking about things that we like talking about, is if it has substance.
Yeah.
And if we actually put that work in, because that's only what's fair to you, the listener, is if this is worth your time. Because I think if we're just, I mean, there is an element, and I remember it, like if you're working a boring job and you can't really talk to other people while you're working, it's great to have the companionship of a good show. And I think episodes like this are hopefully that, where it's more like you're just hanging out with us than we're talking about something of, life-changing significance. But I want it to be a balance, and maybe balance is the wrong word. I want it to be weighted towards substance.
Yeah.
Instead of what it's been, which is the other. But that's just, that's us figuring this out. I think if you're doing something like this, like a podcast, you're under no obligation to figure that out first and then record the show. It helps. I think, I'm full of such wise wisdom on how to do podcasts, but you're under no obligation to keep the formula the same, to keep the core of the show the same. And I think you've been subtly seeing that with this show, with maybe the episode with Mark. Whenever I've had a chance to experiment when you're gone. Episode with Mark, it's more casual. The episode with my dad is more pretty much a formal interview with maybe something I have a lot of thoughts about. And you're kind of seeing that figure itself out. I also just want to say, I really hope you will see a qualitative improvement on the show as a whole, because it gives me more time to work on it. You'll notice with this episode, I'm speaking this into existence right now, but it's not edited the same way the episode with my dad was, because I don't have the time to.
Yeah.
That takes time, and I'm busy enough that I'm really not quite sure when I'm going to be able to edit this, period. I think it'll just be tonight, but regardless, that's an added hour and a half to my edit, and then a longer export time. That just makes everything longer. And if we record this, whenever, and then I have a week to get it out there, you'll see an improvement in that. The shows will look better, sound better, and have more substance is my goal. It's ambitious. It may not all come at one time, but that's what I'm trying to do here. And I just want to be able to feel like we're contributing something than just that companionship thing. Because I think that's important. I think that's a good reason. And we talk about it like we are a light. We just are, hopefully, are something that's good, clean fun. And the fact that people work their way through watching our show, I think speaks to that.
Yeah.
And that blows my mind. And I'm forever grateful for that. And that's why I want to do this. That's they may not have it every week, but what they have will hopefully be worth it.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is something that I've been kind of working towards on my own end of things. 'Cause you talked about the theological lens. I will find myself on that podcast in the next couple of weeks. My mom and I are going to talk about worship in the church. And I've spent a lot of time prepping myself for that.
Yeah.
And I was like, why am I not doing that for Bizarre Sunday? I want to make sure that I'm putting forth the best efforts that I can, that the Lord has given me knowledge for. And so I think that as we kind of seek quality, I think keeping things like this, where we have our moments to just chat with you guys and talk about stuff, I think is good. But I really do want to have some of those more serious stuff. That's just this is the wisdom that we have found. And I think those things are going to be really important moving forward.
Yeah. And there's essentially doughy episode ideas. They're not fully baked at all, that have stayed in the can because we've been working on such a fast production timeline where it's like there isn't the time to flesh out an episode on why do we do theology, or even like a worship in the church episode is something I've been wanting to do, but I know neither of us have had the time to prepare or like get our thoughts together. It's a balance, and I think I think there will continue to be a balance. I don't want to set us up to such a high expectation, and then like there will still be the playlist episodes, and there will still be these kind of silly catch-all episodes, but I want to be able to put that substance out there. That, I mean, we're kind of just saying that over and over again because I think it's important, because it's a show like this. And I guess to maybe continue this a bit more, and on my podcast advice pedestal, there's I might have talked about it here before, but when you're doing a show like this, when you're doing creative things, and this is hopefully advice from someone who's just doing it as well, it is so helpful to have a formula for your show that's precise, not only so that your audience knows what to expect, but so that you know what to expect.
Yeah.
And when you do a show like ours, we luckily somehow have an audience that sticks around for whatever is coming up. You know, we have a few people who actually stick around for whatever we throw at them. But what makes it difficult is we don't know what we're going to talk about. And it is like, well, what do we want to talk about? Our hobby, interest, our entertainment over the last couple weeks? Like, that's kind of what this has been. Or do we want to talk about how to grieve losing loved ones? Well,
yeah,
it's like that is such a wide range. And I think giving ourselves time and giving ourselves substance, like kind of that substance push and that research and prepared push, will push us in a direction more. Because I mean, I do 2 shows, one of which is that formula and the other is kind of this catch-all. And the one is easier. Like I make no qualification about it because I don't think there's any like feelings to hurt. The one is way easier to do because all I have to do is watch a movie and then think about it and then record it in a little bit of time. And then the production of that show is way easier, and that's a whole nother discussion. But the like nitty gritty of that is it's non-existent. It's like download something.
Yeah.
But I know what to expect every week or every other week when we do it, as opposed to this, which is like, it's new, it's brand new every time we do it in certain ways. I mean, we've been iterating our set, and I think that's even part of this. You know, it's going to be a qualitative improvement, but we'll still probably be in this closet,
which is so fun,
and things like that. Like, we'll see what improves there, and I love being able to improve this place slowly and kind of mess with that, because that's what I find so interesting as kind of as a camera guy who wants to do a show, like who ends up in front of the camera. That's one part of what's really fun about this show for me. But it's really fun, and like maybe the encouragement, maybe the lesson after all this can be like, don't feel like you have to figure it out before you do it. I already said that, but like, I think that's my big encouragement is, I think you and I had, I don't want to say no idea what we wanted to do when we were like, let's do a podcast, but we had
no clue.
We had very little like grand vision. It was more like, hey, we like talking together. People like when we talk about issues together. If we get along, we're around each other a lot. We're in the same building all the time.
Yeah.
Let's just do this. And again, like, it's the blessing of I have the gear to do it. We both do, like, between the two of us, we have all that we need, and let's just do it. And then we're kind of figuring it out on the fly. And I think there's a great lesson to be learned there. And I think part of that is I'm learning more and more and more. I'm a perfectionist when it comes to what I do creatively, and that really can get in my way. I think that it is not equal what it adds and what it takes away, is what I'm learning. It is probably, it takes more than it gives most of the time, because I want things to be so perfect. And I mean, with this show, I let a lot go. I let so much go.
Yeah.
That normally would drive me nuts. But when it comes to any sort of creative thing I do, I really, it has to be let go sometime at some point. And we've talked about that before, that my quality for like the production of this is that I want it to be good.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like the bar is set at good. And sometimes I just have to let it go at that. But if you want to do something, or if you are a creative person, don't feel like you don't need the Hollywood pitch right now. I think, there's a couple of projects that are always rolling around in my head that are not in existence yet, that I'm waiting for more of a, to get some ideas right. You need a bit of an idea, but in the way things are working now, with the fact that distribution is as open as it is, meaning you can get your content up on the important platforms relatively easily, you're under no obligation to then like have a fully worked out idea before you do it. And I just think, I don't know, that's something I wish maybe I would take that advice a bit more than I do. But if it's like, that works, let's do it. I mean, that's sort of indifference at the end of the day, is the creative final creative push behind this show and the other show that I do. Like any kind of forward facing creative thing that I do these days is, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Like we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Well, and all of this to say, like, we're not going anywhere.
Mm-mm.
If anything, we're trying to figure out how to give you guys the best quality stuff that we can. And that's not going to be perfection, and you guys just have to be okay with that. And if you're not, then this is just not for you. But if you're down to watch two 20-somethings try to wander through this life with a Christian perspective, that's what we're here to do. And we're just going to try to do it a little better for you guys. And I hope that is, as much of a encouragement to you guys as it is to me thinking about moving forward and working on stuff, and deepening my knowledge of the things that we're talking about, not just spouting out whatever I can think comes to my head, with a couple hours notice. But I'm super excited for the future of whatever this is. And I can't wait to do it with you guys and with Andy. I think we're going to have a lot of fun.
Yeah. We will be back probably in 2 weeks. We'll give ourselves 2 weeks because we're talking about this so much. Thank you so much for listening. Subscribe so that you know when the next episode's out. There is that little bell if you have your
Ring the
notifications
bell
on. And we will be around. Maybe I can contrive some funky way to keep you guys in the loop, but we'll see what we're doing, and we'll see you guys next time on Bizarre Sunday.
Peace.
Every Sunday morning I'm in service.
Was it Twin Towers or was it Hiroshima? I thought it was Hiroshima.
Hiroshima, yeah.